She danced with him like I didn't exist. We'd been together for 3 years. That kind of time doesn't just vanish, right? Or at least, it shouldn't. But standing there at Olivia's wedding, I realized 3 years can disappear in the span of a song. The wedding was beautiful, tasteful, not too over the top. The kind of night you imagine sharing with someone who might someday be your spouse. We were at table 9, near the back, close to the dance floor, but far enough that you could talk without shouting. We'd arrived together, took photos, smiled with friends. But once the dancing started, I noticed Emma had wandered off. At first, I figured she was at the bar or chatting with someone from her college days. But 15 minutes passed, then 20. She didn't come back. That's when I saw her, on the dance floor with Nathan. Nathan, the just a friend from undergrad. The guy whose name I'd heard in passing way too many times. The guy she used to road trip with to concerts. The guy she loved like a brother. Yeah, that one. They weren't dancing like old friends. No distance. No laughs from shared memories. This was something else. His hand was low on her back, like he owned that space. Her head was on his shoulder, eyes closed, like she'd found home. It wasn't a mistake or a heat of the moment slip. It was 3 songs worth of stolen intimacy. The kind you don't share with your boyfriend watching. Every time the beat changed, they didn't break apart. They laughed, leaned in, whispered. At one point, she dragged her hand across his chest, like she'd forgotten what boundaries were. Other people began to notice. Rachel, one of Olivia's bridesmaids, gave me an awkward look. Jack, Olivia's cousin, asked if I was okay. That's how obvious it was. Strangers were checking on me. I caught her near the powder room, heart pounding. Emma, you've been with Nathan for an hour. People are starting to talk. She didn't even flinch, just tilted her head and said, God, could you be any more pathetic? It's just dancing. He's an old friend. I wasn't even angry yet, just stunned. This isn't about being jealous, I said. It's about respect. For me, for Olivia's wedding. She laughed, then leaned in, wearing the perfume I bought her last Christmas. Maybe if you were a little more fun, a little more like him, maybe then I wouldn't be bored. She didn't wait for a reply, just walked right back to him, whispered something in his ear. He turned, gave me this smug, lazy, 2-fingered wave like I was the joke, and she giggled at me. I stood there, letting the final layer of my delusion fall away. I left without a scene, told Olivia I wasn't feeling well, thanked her for inviting us, and drove home alone. The silence was the loudest I'd ever heard. She didn't come back until 1:44 the next afternoon, still wearing the same wrinkled dress, mascara smudged under her eyes. You made me Uber home? Seriously? She said, slamming the door. I called you 10 times. That was so embarrassing I didn't reply. I just started packing, folded her clothes neatly into a box, her sneakers, the hoodie she always stole from me, that mug she loved from our weekend trip to Ashland. She stared, panic rising. What are you doing? Packing your things. I called your brother this morning. He's expecting you. You're kicking me out? Over a dance? Over nothing? The lease is in my name, I said quietly. This isn't working anymore. It was like watching someone short circuit. She didn't scream or cry. She just stood there, not knowing what to do with this version of me. Not angry, just done. Her brother Liam showed up an hour later. They packed quickly. She muttered insults, slammed a few doors, but I barely heard them. At the door, she turned. You're really gonna let me walk out after everything? I met her eyes. Yes, that one word stole her breath. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Then she left. A few days later, the messages started. Friends saying they'd seen what happened. One said Nathan left early the next morning. Turns out he had a girlfriend in Austin and had been using Emma for attention. She tried texting me. I messed up. He meant nothing. You're the only one who ever really saw me. I saved her drunken voicemail once, where she said, everyone hates me. You were the best thing I had. Then deleted it. 6 weeks later, she showed up outside my gym. Her face was different. Less makeup, more shadows under her eyes. I lost everything, she whispered. I'm so alone. I looked at her, and I realized I didn't feel hatred. Not even sadness. Just distance. I know, I said. That's it? You don't care? You told me to be more like him, I said. So I became the guy who doesn't get threatened, doesn't beg, and doesn't look back. She blinked, stunned. I became the man you said you wanted, I said. And the first thing he did was leave you behind.